2026 is not just another year. It is the year of transformation, the year of alignment, the year where every lesson I've learned finally turns into results. This is the year I stop waiting for permission, stop doubting my worth, and stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for me. I step fully into my power, into my clarity, into my destiny. I trust the timing of my life, I trust the work I've done in silence, and I trust that the universe is conspiring in my favor. 2026 is my year, not because everything will be perfect, but because I am finally ready. Ready to claim, ready to rise, ready to receive. 2026 is the year I stop shrinking myself to fit places that were never meant to hold my expansion. I've learned who I am through pressure, patience, and perseverance. I no longer chase validation because I trust my inner knowing. What once tested me has now trained me. I move forward with clarity, courage, and calm certainty. This year marks the moment I choose myself fully and unapologetically. 2026 arrives not as a miracle, but as a reward for everything I survived without applause. I am stronger because I stayed when quitting felt easier. I am wiser because I listened when life was teaching. I no longer tolerate confusion, delay, or disrespect. I step into this year grounded, prepared, and aligned. This is the season where my growth becomes visible. 2026 is powerful because I am no longer the same person who entered previous years hoping for change. I have become the change through discipline, healing, and hard truths. I know what I deserve and what I will never settle for again. I trust my timing now. I trust my direction. Everything ahead feels earned. 2026 feels different because I feel different. I no longer second-guess my intuition or minimize my dreams. I have learned that silence can build empires and patience can sharpen purpose. I walk into this year confident in who I am becoming. The waiting season is over. Alignment begins now. 2026 is not about perfection, it's about power. The power of boundaries, self-respect, and clarity. I release the need to explain myself. I move with intention and trust the process that shaped me. This year reflects the inner work I did when no one was watching. I am ready for what matches my growth. 2026 is the year I stop doubting my readiness. I have already done the work, faced the fear, and learned the lessons. I no longer ask for permission to live boldly. I stand firm in my values and move forward with conviction. This year marks the beginning of a more aligned life. 2026 arrives as confirmation that my struggles were not wasted. Every delay refined me. Every loss redirected me. I step into this year with confidence built on experience, not hope alone. I trust what's unfolding because I trust myself now. This is my turning point. 2026 is the chapter where I finally honor my own growth. I've learned when to hold on and when to walk away. I no longer chase what drains me. I choose what strengthens me. This year reflects my maturity, my resilience, and my commitment to becoming my best self. 2026 represents alignment over approval. I no longer seek external validation to feel worthy. I know my value because I've earned it through resilience. I walk into this year focused, calm, and certain. The foundation is strong. The direction is clear. 2026 begins with trust. Trust in my journey, my decisions, and my evolution. I have learned that growth often happens quietly. I am no longer afraid of change because I've become adaptable and strong. This year is not luck. It's alignment. 2026 is the year my inner strength becomes my outer reality. I've stopped underestimating myself. I've stopped waiting for perfect conditions. I move forward knowing I can handle whatever comes. This year reflects confidence built through experience. 2026 stands as proof that healing changes everything. I no longer carry what hurt me. I carry wisdom instead. I choose peace over chaos and purpose over pressure. This year feels grounded, intentional, and powerful. 2026 is the moment I fully step into my life without fear. I've outgrown hesitation and self-doubt. I trust my preparation and embrace my potential. What's coming aligns with who I've become. 2026 is shaped by the boundaries I learned to set and the courage I learned to choose. I am no longer available for confusion or inconsistency. I walk forward with clarity and confidence. This year reflects my growth. 2026 marks the end of playing small. I've learned that my dreams require boldness and belief. I trust my instincts and honor my progress. This year opens doors that match my mindset. 2026 feels like alignment because I've finally learned to listen to myself. I release old patterns and embrace intentional living. I move forward with purpose and patience. This year holds space for everything I've prepared for. 2026 arrives with calm confidence. I no longer rush or force outcomes. I trust timing and remain consistent. I know who I am and where I'm going. This year is about stability and growth. 2026 reflects the strength I built during uncertain times. I am no longer defined by what challenged me. I am defined by how I rose. This year supports the version of me that stayed committed. 2026 is a reminder that transformation is earned. I've learned from every setback and refined my focus. I no longer settle for less than alignment. This year welcomes me fully. 2026 represents self-trust. I've stopped doubting my choices and started honoring my intuition. I step into this year confident in my path. The journey now feels intentional. 2026 is shaped by the courage it took to keep going. I've learned that growth is uncomfortable but necessary. I walk into this year prepared, grounded, and focused. This is my season of alignment. 2026 feels powerful because I am no longer afraid of my potential. I accept responsibility for my life and embrace growth fully. This year reflects maturity and confidence. 2026 arrives as confirmation that my patience was purposeful. I've learned when to wait and when to act. I trust myself now more than ever. This year marks clarity. 2026 is about choosing peace, direction, and discipline. I've learned what drains me and what fuels me. I walk forward aligned and intentional. This year honors my growth. 2026 begins with inner stability. I no longer seek chaos or rush outcomes. I trust steady progress and conscious choices. This year reflects emotional strength. 2026 stands as proof that self-belief changes everything. I've learned to trust my voice and respect my journey. I move forward confident and focused. 2026 is the chapter where preparation meets opportunity. I've done the inner work. I'm ready for what aligns with my growth. This year marks expansion. 2026 reflects the discipline I built when motivation faded. I stayed consistent. I stayed patient. This year rewards that commitment. 2026 feels different because I no longer carry doubt. I move with clarity and confidence. I trust what's unfolding. This is my turning point. 2026 is not just a new year. It's a new standard. I've grown, healed, and prepared. I walk into this chapter ready, grounded, and aligned with the life I choose. 2026 is becoming my greatest year not because life suddenly gets easy, but because I have grown into someone who can handle greatness. I no longer chase validation or wait to be chosen. I choose myself. I understand my worth now. I honor my boundaries. I walk away from what drains me without guilt. I trust that everything I endured was shaping me for what's next, and I am ready to receive the rewards of becoming stronger, wiser, and more aligned. 2026 marks the year I stop shrinking to fit spaces that were never meant for me. I know what I want, and more importantly, I know what I refuse to tolerate. The confusion is gone. The fear is quieter. I've learned through loss, patience, and silence. I'm stepping forward with clarity, courage, and faith in myself. This year isn't about luck. It's about alignment, and I've earned it. This year becomes powerful because I am no longer the same person who entered the previous ones. I am decisive. I am self-aware. I am emotionally stronger. I don't beg for understanding anymore. I don't explain my growth to those committed to misunderstanding me. 2026 is where my inner work begins to show outward results, and I welcome that transformation fully. 2026 is not a fresh start. It is a continuation of the strength I built when no one was watching. I've done the healing. I've faced my fears. I've learned to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. I trust myself now, and that trust changes everything. What is coming is not random. It is earned. I step into 2026 with confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. I've released doubt, comparison, and the need to rush. My timing is divine because it's aligned with who I've become. I'm no longer afraid of outgrowing people or places. This year marks the moment I finally live unapologetically as myself. 2026 represents a turning point where my patience turns into progress. I understand that delays were not denials, they were preparation. I no longer question why things took so long. I see now that I was being shaped into someone capable of holding more joy, more responsibility, and more success. This year feels different because I am different. I listen to my intuition. I protect my peace. I invest my energy wisely. I've stopped romanticizing struggle and started honoring stability. 2026 is where calm confidence replaces chaos, and that alone changes everything. 2026 arrives with clarity instead of confusion. I am no longer negotiating with my self-worth. I no longer wait for permission to dream bigger. I trust the quiet work I've done and the strength I gained through challenges. This is the year where inner growth meets external breakthroughs. I walk into 2026 grounded, focused, and emotionally mature. I understand that growth required endings, distance, and uncomfortable truths. I accept that not everything was meant to last. What remains now is purpose, self-respect, and readiness for what aligns with my future. 2026 is powerful because I am no longer driven by fear of missing out or fear of being alone. I know who I am when no one is watching. I trust my pace. I trust my process. This year marks the moment where everything begins to feel intentional. This year is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about honoring my journey and showing up fully for my life. I release the past without resentment. I welcome the future without anxiety. 2026 meets me prepared, healed, and open. I enter 2026 with a calm belief that things are unfolding exactly as they should. I've stopped forcing outcomes. I've learned to trust alignment over urgency. The version of me now understands patience, boundaries, and self-respect, and that changes my entire reality. 2026 reflects the inner strength I cultivated through setbacks. I no longer define myself by what didn't work. I define myself by how I adapted, learned, and kept going. This year is about expansion, not survival. I'm ready for 2026 because I've already done the hardest part, becoming honest with myself. I know what I deserve. I know what drains me. I choose growth over comfort and peace over chaos. Everything that enters my life now must match that standard. 2026 is not just a new calendar year. It is the reward season of emotional discipline and self-trust. I no longer doubt my intuition. I listen, I act, and I move forward with confidence rooted in experience. This year carries a different energy because I've stopped replaying old stories. I've forgiven myself for past versions that didn't know better. 2026 is where acceptance turns into freedom and confidence replaces hesitation. I step into 2026 knowing that my quiet resilience mattered. The nights I questioned myself, the moments I chose growth over comfort, all of it led me here. This year honors that strength. 2026 becomes my turning point because I finally trust myself completely. I don't rush decisions. I don't ignore red flags. I don't settle. This level of clarity opens doors I was never meant to force. This year is different because I no longer chase what runs from me. I attract what aligns. I'm grounded in self-respect, and that changes the quality of everything in my life. 2026 meets me healed, aware, and intentional. I don't fear change anymore. I understand it. I allow endings without resistance and welcome beginnings without fear. I've learned that growth doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like walking away, staying silent, or choosing peace. 2026 reflects that wisdom. This year is shaped by the strength I developed when life tested me. I didn't break, I evolved. And now I'm ready to receive what matches that evolution. 2026 is about alignment, not perfection. I embrace progress over pressure. I trust that my efforts will compound in beautiful ways. I walk into this year with emotional clarity and grounded confidence. I'm no longer reactive. I respond with intention. That alone changes my future. 2026 is the year I stop underestimating myself. I recognize how far I've come and how capable I truly am. This year is powerful because I finally understand that my worth was never up for debate. I move forward without needing approval. 2026 is where patience meets opportunity. I no longer rush what is meant to arrive at the right time. I trust the unseen progress. I trust the quiet preparation. This year reflects everything I've been becoming. 2026 is not about fixing myself. It's about fully expressing who I've grown into. This year marks my readiness. I've learned, healed, and strengthened myself. 2026 isn't just coming. It's responding to the person I've become. 2026 is going to be my greatest year not because circumstances suddenly align perfectly, but because I finally align with myself. I no longer question my instincts or silence my inner voice to keep the peace. I understand now that clarity comes from self-honesty, not approval. The lessons of the past years were not punishments. They were preparation. Every setback taught me discernment. Every delay strengthened my patience, and every moment of loneliness deepened my self-trust. This year, I move forward grounded, intentional, and ready to receive what matches the person I've become. I step into 2026 with a sense of calm strength that once felt unreachable. I no longer feel pressured to prove my worth or explain my journey. I've learned that growth often happens quietly, without witnesses, and that consistency matters more than recognition. The version of me entering this year understands boundaries, honors rest, and chooses depth over distraction. This is not a year of survival. It is a year of stability, self-respect, and quiet confidence. 2026 represents a turning point where I stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. I know what drains me, what fuels me, and what aligns with my values. I no longer cling to familiar discomfort just because it feels safe. I allow endings without bitterness and beginnings without fear. This year reflects emotional maturity built through honest self-reflection and courage to change what no longer supports my growth. I enter 2026 no longer carrying the weight of past versions of myself. I forgive the mistakes I made when I didn't know better and honor the resilience that kept me going. I understand now that healing is not about erasing the past but integrating it with wisdom. This year becomes the moment where my experiences turn into guidance, my scars turn into strength, and my patience turns into progress. This year feels different because I have changed the way I relate to uncertainty. I no longer panic when answers are unclear. I trust that clarity arrives through action, reflection, and time. I've learned to sit with discomfort without abandoning myself. 2026 honors that inner discipline by opening doors that require emotional stability, not impulsive desire. 2026 is the year I stop postponing my life out of fear of getting it wrong. I understand that growth comes from participation, not perfection. I show up fully, even when outcomes are uncertain. I trust myself to adapt, learn, and course-correct. This year rewards courage grounded in self-awareness, not reckless risk. I step into 2026 with the understanding that not everything lost was meant to stay. Some endings were necessary to protect my future. I release resentment and replace it with gratitude for the clarity those experiences brought me. This year is shaped by acceptance, not resistance, and that shift creates peace I once searched for externally. 2026 reflects the inner order I created by choosing discipline over distraction. I learned that freedom comes from structure, and confidence comes from keeping promises to myself. This year mirrors that commitment by bringing opportunities that require focus, responsibility, and integrity. I enter this year aware that my pace is intentional, not slow. I no longer compare my timeline to others or measure success by external standards. I trust the rhythm of my own growth. 2026 aligns with that trust by unfolding in a way that feels steady, sustainable, and deeply fulfilling. 2026 stands as the year I finally live from self-trust instead of self-doubt. I listen to my intuition, respect my limits, and honor my needs without guilt. I understand. 2026 is the year I stop seeking validation from anyone outside myself. I finally understand that approval will never bring the peace I crave, and that self-trust is the only currency that matters. I honor my energy, my boundaries, and my time. Every experience that tried to break me has strengthened me instead. This year, I step forward with confidence rooted in wisdom, patience, and quiet resilience. I no longer chase results. I align with what feels authentic, and what belongs will find its way to me naturally. I enter 2026 fully aware that my past does not define me. It prepares me. Every setback, heartbreak, and moment of uncertainty was a teacher, shaping the version of me that knows how to respond with clarity and strength. I walk into this year grounded, intentional, and ready to receive the rewards of my patience, my discipline, and my faith in myself. I trust the timing of my life and the lessons that brought me here. 2026 becomes a turning point because I've learned to move without expectation, to act without attachment, and to trust without doubt. I no longer allow fear or hesitation to dictate my actions. I respond with purpose and grace, and I choose opportunities that expand me, not shrink me. This year is the reflection of inner work finally showing up externally. It is a year of alignment, abundance, and clarity in all areas of life. I step into 2026 with the awareness that true growth comes from consistency, not perfection. I no longer rush the process or force outcomes that are not meant for me. I honor my pace, my rhythm, and the lessons I've earned through perseverance. This year is about deliberate action, grounded decision-making, and receiving the fruits of my labor. I trust myself more than ever, and that trust transforms the way life unfolds before me. 2026 is different because I finally understand the power of letting go. I release what no longer serves me, people, habits, thoughts, and environments that drain my energy. I no longer feel guilty for prioritizing myself or choosing peace over approval. Every ending creates space for the right beginnings. This year is about freedom, authenticity, and the manifestation of a life that reflects my true worth. I walk into 2026 with a calm certainty that I have never felt before. I no longer doubt my intuition or second-guess my decisions. I have learned to trust the inner voice that guides me with wisdom and clarity. This year is about stepping into my full power without fear, about honoring my growth, and about allowing life to meet me where I am ready to receive it. I embrace this year with patience, courage, and unwavering faith in my journey. 2026 is the year I fully embrace my own authority over my life. I stop allowing outside opinions, judgments, or past disappointments to influence my choices. I understand that I am capable of creating my own path, guided by clarity, discipline, and self-respect. Every moment of doubt I've overcome has strengthened me for this year. This year is about action informed by wisdom, courage grounded in experience, and results that reflect my dedication to my own evolution. I step into 2026 knowing that every delay, every obstacle, and every trial of the past was shaping me for what I am about to receive. I no longer fear uncertainty because I have learned that life unfolds in divine timing. I move forward intentionally, protect my peace, and prioritize what nurtures my growth. This year will bring clarity, opportunity, and alignment that matches the energy I am holding. I am ready to step fully into the life I've prepared for. 2026 marks the year where inner work meets visible transformation. I am no longer distracted by superficial achievements or fleeting recognition. I honor the strength I've developed in silence, the discipline I cultivated when no one was watching, and the patience I practiced when results seemed delayed. This year reflects maturity, alignment, and self-trust. I walk forward intentionally, knowing the universe responds to the energy I hold. I enter 2026 with a deep understanding that my power comes from within. I am no longer dependent on others to validate my choices or define my worth. I trust my judgment, honor my boundaries, and respect my energy. I release fear, doubt, and comparison, knowing that my journey is unique and my timing is perfect. This year is about claiming my space, embracing my growth, and allowing life to reward the inner strength and resilience I have built.